This is my Lightning Tendrils Juggernaut, and I decided to go Juggernaut rather than Raider, and I'm gonna do a quick Veritania just to kind of show it off, and then I'll talk more about the build. The goal for this character is to be Immortal. As my previous Jug from last league, I did a Bleed Boneshatter Jugg. Made it nearly able to just face tank everything, including Ubers. I do plan on attempting to do that with this build as well. But Lightning Tendril should, in the long run, do a lot more damage than the Bone Shatter I had going. So, with all the new buffs to it. So it's currently still kind of in its infancy. It's level 89. But yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. I just need to solve a couple of things. I tried a Shaper and I was not able to tank the Shaper beam, so I figured I needed some more max resist. Currently working on that. I also take damage from things like Burning Ground still, so gonna kind of see if I can figure all of that out. And yeah, we'll see what's going on. But more or less, I think this character's gonna be pretty solid once I get everything up and running. Still a little scuffed, but I'm a couple of levels away from having a lot of the things that are kind of causing troubles for me to be figured out. So hopefully that will be taken care of soon here. Yeah, it's just going to be a matter of getting max resist. I did want to try out one of the new uniques. I'm currently using the fourth vow. Generally speaking, I would demonstrate here, but I want to actually kill this because my DPS is a little low. But generally speaking, I can sit in any number of mobs. Same thing with the Lightning Tendrils Raider, as far as you do absolutely require to be one-shotted to be killed, basically. There's a few exceptions. Things could attack you very, very quickly. I actually don't have recoup in this version. Recoup is generally considered pretty good. I'm still using the same jewel setup where I'm purposefully getting stunned. Generally, you're going to want to use recoup specifically for when things that attack very, very quickly attack you. But yeah, it's just not something I'm super worried about. I generally don't run into that problem, but if necessary, I will pick up, I suppose, some recoup. I can get it from a lot of different sources. And yeah, still running the Trinity, but I'm no longer, you may notice, I'm not getting the nice Herald of Ice pops anymore. I'm actually not able to fit in Herald of Ice at the moment. So basically just kind of ignoring all of that. But yeah, clear speed suffering a little bit, but since the goal for this character is to be able to take on pinnacle or uber pinnacle bosses rather, I don't think it's a huge deal that the clear isn't spectacular. I don't think it's a lot worse than the previous one was either. So yeah, I've taken a couple of deaths on this character. I mean, I think I have like 16 or something, but I leveled with the tabula and I leveled, you know, using a channeling skill, so that's gonna happen. But I actually did use Armageddon brand for a while, which was very fun. I used that for quite a few levels to level, had a kind of a different setup. Yeah, I would recommend it if you haven't tried Armageddon brand. Now the damage falls off even with the whole brand recall thing. I saw Jungrown doing the brand recall setup, and I thought it was a pretty interesting looking setup, and it worked really well for leveling and pretty much all the way up, since I wasn't spec'd super hard into brands or fire damage. But yeah, it worked pretty well up into red maps, and then up until it didn't, basically. Yeah, I just sat in that cold cloud and took a decent amount of damage from that, so you can see kind of the effect of damage over time. Right now my max resists are only 81 fire, 79 cold and lightning, and 81 chaos. I'm going to be improving all of those very shortly. That'll make the damage over time a little bit better, and I'm probably going to also make a change to my shield as well. But yeah, you can sit in basically anything. You can sit in like all of the different rare things, like the things that explode on the ground. All of those are pretty easy to just kind of face tank. This guy's crit resistant, so he's a little irritating. They've also got this weird knockback. Yeah, crit resistant isn't super fun for this build, as most of our damage comes from crit multi. I don't even think it's worth sitting and fighting this guy for a remnant of corruption, honestly, but I could tank him all day. But once we get our damage up a little bit, I still have a level 1 Awakened Added Lightning. I just got that, so gonna get a lot of damage for that, especially once it hits level 5, where I get my +1 gem level as well. So that'll additionally, on top of the flat damage, give a decent amount to the whole thing. But alright, got my Screaming Invitation there. I'll put a portal down. I don't think... I was going to see... last time I made this character, I went out and saw how long I could tank the Veritania Cloud. I don't think I'm there yet. I think I had like 85 cold resist when I did that. So, even though I have good regen, I don't think it's a... Oh, good. So this map has, whatchamacallit, Consecrated Ground, and it looks like Veritania is right on top of Consecrated Ground, so I guess I have to try to draw her away from it. Little botched. As you can see, my shocks aren't that big either. I do need to get more, I need to get more shock effect, basically, more ailment effect. I just shocked for 35 at the highest, but for most of the fight... Alright, so I'm going to try to lure her. Let me see if I can tank this. Yep, nothing. Just stay out of the cloud. The hits are no problem, the cloud's the issue. It's hard to see where the consecrated... Okay, that's the Consecrated Ground, you can tell because she's healing. And unfortunately, she did choose to do her channel on it. And she's going to be fully healed again. Alright. So little Z DPS. POB says I do like 4 million or so against regular bosses, non-pinnacle bosses. And on regular mapping, I do about 7 million or so. Yeah, it looks like I can tank the cloud for a little bit, but I believe there's escalating damage on the cloud. Okay. She just happened to go right into a Consecrated Ground again. Oh, man. Yep, this is a rough fight. And she's at full again. Oh boy, I didn't think this through very well. But it's a good demonstration at least. Sure, let's tank the cloud, I guess. I'll just sit in it. Or at least on the edge. Got up to 38 shock. Oh, maybe I... Oh, nope. Okay. There you go. Got her. I just needed to be a little brave. So yeah, I can tank the Veritania Cloud for a little while. But yeah, it kind of scales up in terms of ramping up. I'll do a 100% Crucible channel as well. I'm about to get a big upgrade to my Crucible tree on my Scepter. So I don't think I'll get it from this one, but I'm going to get it pretty soon. Oh, this is that crit resistant one again. Oh, I must have just had it on top of a... Okay, so I could kill it just fine. I just had it on top of Consecrated Ground. Oh yeah, the Crucible, they're going to be pretty tough on the Consecrated Ground. I need to be a little wary of that, especially if a boss spawns. But we'll deal with that when it comes. But yeah, I have a lot of DPS to eke out yet. I think I have like 2 more defensive points. Actually, my next point is going to open up a jewel slot because I have a Corrupted Blood jewel, and I'm about to get it from the Mastery. And I currently have 0 damage mods on the jewel I'm using to get Corrupted Blood, so I could get a 3 or 4 damage mod jewel for my next level. Alright, so this is my setup for my thing. I have the crit multi on 2 spell damage, shock effect, and this is going to be explicit caster damage modifier. So really, really good scepter. I'll just do a full channel here. It's probably going to be a little bit of a pain with the consecrated ground. I might have to kite some things over to where they're not there, but I should be fine tanking this. I actually haven't tried these since I dropped the recoup. As you can see, I'm getting hit by a lot of the small hits by those lightning balls, so I think actually I should make sure I focus one thing at a time. So this is lightning and shock resistant, but yeah, once a bunch of these shock or lightning balls kind of pile up, it could be a little bit of a problem without recoup. I think I have like almost 90 life regen rate though, and my actual regen is only 1200, but yeah, that's still fairly substantial. Alright, yep, just fine. Defeat rare, ooh, got a challenge, nice. Okay, so that was the thing. A little bit of an awkward fight just because of the way Veritania was set up, but yeah, this is kind of my hobbled together character. Go over the skill tree first, I suppose. Important things to note: got Divine Flesh with Glorious Vanity. That is for the 4th vow, which I'll talk about a little bit more, but basically this converts 50% of my elemental damage to be taken as chaos, and all damage taken bypasses energy shield, so my energy shield is kind of pointless. Another thing to note is I have the stun threshold is based on 60% of my energy shield instead of life, combined with Blood Notch. I got a better Blood Notch. These are no longer budget. I got my original one for 40C. Now they're anywhere from like 1.7 to like 6 divine, maybe even more than that for high rolled ones. So what I did is I just used 2 divines on my 43 or 46% one I had before and got a 57, so I got a little lucky there. I'm like, may as well shoot for it since I'm towards the lower end. And then Immutable Force, which gives me all the stun and block recovery, which makes me not really notice any of the stuns. So that's the important stuff there. Outside of that, need to make sure we're getting reservation masteries, specifically the life reservation efficiency one. So got that. Nice thing about Juggernaut is it's close to the Champion of the Cause, and these 2 nodes are generic reservation efficiency, which actually allows me to put Petrified Blood on Arrogance, which is a 35% aura with 47% or like 48%, something like that, remaining life. I'm going to lose a little bit of that when I take this jewel out. This jewel does nothing for me except Corrupted Blood immunity and the efficiency. So as you can see, I lose a very small amount of HP, 25 HP basically, from taking this out. But yeah, I'll get Corrupted Blood can't be afflicted on you from this protection mastery. Got a cluster jewel going on. It's a pretty good cluster jewel. It's got armor, regen, damage, and attack and cast speed. So pretty nice. Watcher's Eye with mana recovery rate with clarity and cold damage taken, or fizz taken as cold while affected by purity of elements. It's kind of a low roll. I just happened to find this one and throw it on. But yeah, I self-farmed this jewel and just happen to have it, but I would prefer to have a double fizz taken as while affected by purity of elements. Having purity of elements kind of alleviates some of the gearing stress, I guess you could say, as well as gives us immunity to all elemental ailments, which is, you know, a little bit harder to get. And purity of elements is the main reason that I'm not running any offensive aura, including Herald of Ice, in this one. So yeah, we end up missing damage, but I think it's worthwhile to get it set up that way. Max res from Soul of Steel, max res from Prismatic Skin, max res from the other Reservation Mastery. So we have Reservation Mastery up here on Sovereignty, and then down here. Then we have Hardy and Barbarism, and have to go through Juggernaut. So just armor, endurance charges. One of the most important things is physical damage from hits taken as chaos. One of the things I might do is I might take the inverted elemental or enemy monster elemental resistance value and swap out my elemental weakness for Assassin's Mark, and just not do any like exposure or anything for uber bossing, because I think the DPS might actually end up being higher. I'm going to double check on that, but I think that might be the case. And then other than that, mana mastery, so we can get more stuff. So yeah, as you can see, we just have a ton of auras, more than I can actually fit in my bar. I also have Defiance Banner as well. I'm gonna mess around with the auras, and I might also, these boots are so good that I don't really want to drop them. They've got a ton of chaos resist and then life regenerate as well. So I might end up replacing them. Plus I have action speed and even more regenerate on them. But basically, I might end up getting rid of them for the delve boots in order to get some more reservation, which is generic reservation efficiency. So what that'll allow me to do is have petrified blood, possibly with arrogance, and maybe either like clarity or vitality as well, which will free up, and then I can drop Defiance Banner and put on an offensive aura, which could be helpful as well. So that's kind of nice. But other than that, nothing too notable on the tree. Need the skills cost life instead of mana, life mastery, just to kind of maintain the cast cost, because you know we cast really fast. Pain attunement, which we combine with righteous fire and just being on low life for a bunch of more damage multiplier. And yeah, everything else is not super notable, just a little bit of AoE. I'd like more AoE, but I can't really fit it. Might get a AoE medium cluster jewel and get like Towering Threat and Magnify, which would give me another 20% AoE along with the 8% life and 10% crit multi. Could be really good. I had a couple of those on the build last league, and it was just very helpful. AoE is enormously useful on this, but I just don't happen to have much. And I currently have as my anointment Unfaltering, which increases my stun threshold, which is kind of bad, but it also gives me another 10% of damage taken from stunning hits is recovered as life. So I actually have 67% of all damage from hits basically is instantly given back to me. You could roll up to 70%, which is why my regen is able to do so much work. But I'm thinking about, I don't know if I need that. I think I might just end up anointing maybe Brink of Death instead, because 4% regen when you're on low life is actually quite a lot. You can basically think about that as like twice as much life regen, because we are at half life. So this is our entire health pool. So life regen is functionally twice as efficient, but you know, the 3 travel nodes to get up there is kind of a pain, so I might just anoint it. And it would actually be better, although this has 15% stun thresholds. I don't want to make myself not get stunned, and I don't really have a way to lower my energy shield. But yeah, that's the tree. It's nothing too special, just getting started. My plans for the immediate future are Corrupting Blood, swap this jewel out, get another max res through the armor mastery, and then another endurance charge, and then maybe more damage or discipline and training. So that's pretty much my setup. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would put me at 95 without taking any additional damage. So I might just not get discipline and training. I don't really know if I need it, and just start taking damage from 93. But I do want the endurance charge. That'll give me a lot of extra, you know, physical and everything. It'll be really nice. And I was going to take the flat 50 life regen mastery as well, but I just don't know if I need it or if I'll fit it in. Each one of these with the 0.15 gives me like 30 regen anyway. So, but the 50 life regen gives me like 90 life regen or 94 or something because of all of the life recovery rate I have. So I'm going to go over my gear. So this is my weapon. It's alright. I'm going to craft it to be better later, but it's just some spell damage, flat lightning damage to spells. I crafted this with essences, specifically the flat lightning damage to spells essences. And so I just went until I hit a couple of good stats. I happened to get like lightning and cold damage, spell damage, and then I just crafted cast speed. Yeah, the tree is going to be spell damage, crit multi. The minus spell crit chance doesn't matter because we auto crit every 3 casts. Effective shock and caster damage modifier magnitudes, which is going to be nice when I get that, and it's going to be even nicer when I craft a better, or when I craft this up to be better. I'm still running Call of the Brotherhood and Marlene's Fallacy. I did quality this. However, I qualityed it and it wasn't a well-rolled one. I should have just gotten a well-rolled one. Like the baseline was only 232. I could have gotten a 239 or 240 for still pretty cheap and qualityed that. And had like, you know, maybe 5 or 6% more crit multi at least. So it's not that huge of a deal, but I mean, if I was going to replace the anoint, and this is a cheap anoint regardless, I should have just done that, but I wasn't really thinking. Helmet. I went through a bunch of different helmets. So while I was doing this, for a while, especially when I was doing Armageddon brand, I was actually running the Formless Flame, which gave me a ton of armor. I was actually at like 80,000 armor at one point, but had to drop it a little bit. So I went from the Formless Flame to Vol's Vision, which gives me something along the lines of like 700 life regen or so, and 10% max life, and then some bunch of armor, chaos resistant stuff. Really nice. But I did buy this helmet, and I bought it without the Eldritch Implicence, which I crafted myself. It was just life, and then the important thing is the physical taken from hits as cast, but it also had a high regen roll as well, so I valued that. This is very good. Then I crafted Fizz taken as chaos and cast speed. Kind of the highlight of the reason I decided to go Jugg is the Fourth Vow. A lot of people have been playing with this. It's got chaos resist, not that great of armor, but okay armor, and then regen, and most importantly, armor also applies to chaos damage taken from hits. This is really, really big. So buffed up with all of my flasks up, I have 50, almost 55k armor. So basically all of the chaos damage from hits goes and is kind of mitigated, and it's not just a small percentage like it is from the Unbreakable, because I have Untiring, Unbreakable, Unflinching, and Unyielding. I guess I didn't go over that. You can't take Unstoppable because it stops you from getting stunned, so if you do that you can't run Blood Notch. So can't take that, and obviously Undeniable is not that useful. Unrelenting is something to consider, I think. I am not entirely sure on that. Like, I've considered a couple of times getting rid of Untiring and going from Unrelenting, but my regen wouldn't be that much higher than my Righteous Fire if I do that. So I don't think it's worth it. Maybe when I get a little bit more max res, I'll try speccing that out. But the additional physical damage reduction and reduced elemental damage taken is really good. It'll help against like dots during the Shaper fights or during Cirrus, that kind of thing. And I can also drop Chaos Resist because I'm going really hard into Chaos Resist. If I get that, like this right here, I have, you know, Chaos Resist implicit, Chaos Resist, and then Fire and Chaos Resist. So, you know, I am trying hard to get Chaos Resist. But yeah, I have a bunch of, so I have some Fizz taken as Chaos Resist, or Chaos. I have Dawnbreaker. So I'm currently taking, when all is said and done, 54% of my physical damage is something else. Quite a bit of it is Chaos specifically. 21% is Chaos. 19% as Fire. And then 9% as Cold. So yeah, I'm splitting off a decent amount. I think that's all I have. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I feel like I have something else, but maybe not. Yeah, because I have the Armor and Energy Shield Mastery here. Then I have Cult of Chaos as well. I guess I didn't point that out. This is actually pretty important too. That's giving me my extra +1. I happened to get lucky on these. I got, well, I guess not that lucky for the most part. But just having Cult of Chaos when I had to go pick up that mastery was very nice regardless. In this way, I don't increase my energy shield at all. So that's good as well. You know, nothing too crazy about the nodes here. So got all of that going. Call of the Brotherhood still here. I just went over this ring. Then the gloves are just high resist gloves with Unnerve, and I didn't bother getting rid of the spell suppress. It's not really going to come up when you have 5%, but there's nothing that I particularly want on here that's better, like maybe some lightning or cold leech, but for the most part, you know, it's just kind of some sit-in gloves. Might change these out later. Belt is just high life, and then I needed a little bit more chaos resist. So I have that, and then mana and flash charge gain pretty low on that, but high life is kind of the main thing. Maybe put some fertile catalysts on this, get some higher life. And yeah, then the boots. Highlight of these boots are big chaos resist and really big life regenerate. So that is quite nice overall. Good armor too, and it has movement speed, even if the movement speed isn't 30 or 35. So overall, yeah, cool character. Kind of a little bit of a ranty thing and long map, so I apologize for that. I'll try to make the next one more concise. I was tired from trying to make this one work. So hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan. Oh, Pantheons. People ask about these all the time. I think I went over, but currently I have Soul of Ralikesh and Soul of Arakali. I don't have them upgraded yet. Once I get Malagaro and Hybrid Widow, that'll be helpful here. Queen of the Great Tangle isn't going to help because I need maxed chaos resist anyway. I don't really need Soul of Ralikesh. Might go Soul of Shikari in order to get the reduced chaos damage taken. It's just an extra reduced damage taken mod. So that is... that could be really nice since I take so much of my damage as chaos. It's just like a flat reduction of damage taken. Other things that I could consider are like Soul of Tukohama, Soul of Yugul for the reduced curse effect. Yeah, not too much. So I think it'll be Soul of Shikari and then maybe Soul of Tukohama sometimes as well. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I'll see you next time. Bye.